I think downtown Frederick is an exceptional place, and it's hard to put into words what makes it so special. I think it's people who really have a heart for what they're doing business-wise, but also have a heart for this community. And I see that reflected in FCB Bank.
I started making toys back when I was working with the government. I was doing a lot of traveling, and the way I would relax and wind down in the evenings is I would go down to my shop and I would make toys. Once I left the government, the next logical step was to open a store that would feature my toys.
It was a big risk, and I think people thought we were a little crazy to own a small business. And it just felt, if we were going to do this, if we were going to launch this business, we wanted to be part of a downtown that was as special as downtown Frederick.
I learned something every single day, and I still do. To this day, after 20 plus years, there's not a day that goes by that we don't learn something new, and that's what keeps us going.
So I come from a small business family. My parents owned a gas station in Martinsburg, West Virginia, and there were always these wonderful bells on their front door, and they're now over at Curious Iguana. So every time the door opens, I hear the bells that used to ring in my parents' gas station.
My dad and I built everything inside of that facility. There's a house actually inside the store that my dad and I built, and there's this bridge that people view as a stage.
I've always loved books. I was a freelance copywriter for years and years, so my passion has always been the written word. So when we determined that there was such strong community support for a bookstore for all ages, I was thrilled. In those 6 or 7 months from when the bear moved around the corner before we opened Curious Iguana, I sat in there by myself at a 6-foot table, absolutely terrified at what we had done, because there was no going back at that point.
FCB has been our bank from the beginning.
FCB has been our bank even since before Dancing Bear opened, and I think there's a lot to be said for having a bank in the community that's been with you from day one, and they share a love of our business and understand the history, and that's really, those kinds of relationships are hard to come by. We pass by every day and we wave as we walk by. If we're not going in to make a deposit or do some banking, we wave, and we always get a wave back. They know us by name. It's truly a neighborhood community bank.
We've known Tammy forever. We all kind of grew together, which is fantastic. She knows us. She knows our kids. She's seen them grow.
And we've seen her in both stores shopping for her grandkids. In other places you might not expect to have with the folks you bank with, but that's what we have here in Frederick, and that's what makes it really special. We work really hard to make sure that the experience that folks have in each of our stores is exceptional. And I think we're not the only merchants who do that. I think that's part of what makes downtown Frederick so special, is that the merchants go out of their way to be welcoming, to be accessible to all people, and I think that makes a difference. I think it shows.
Downtown businesses, they support one another in almost every aspect. We do everything we can to get people downtown, and then the more people that are downtown, the better it is for every single business. Because downtown Frederick is the most unique downtown on the face of the earth.
We're not biased. Right?
Not at all.
Gosh, we've seen so many changes in downtown Frederick since 2000. I could never have imagined how it could get even better. I mean, we thought it was great in 2000, and it's just grown and thrived, and I feel like the sense of community in downtown Frederick has gotten even stronger over the last 2 decades.
The bank is an extremely strong partner in the community that's built downtown. I think FCB Bank's community involvement is unsurpassed. They were always there, willing to give a hand, willing to help out, do whatever they could to make it better.
I think FCB Bank is such an important part of the Frederick community, because I think they are all about that same community spirit that we believe in so much. And I mean, we think of them as neighbors. It's nice to have them on our corner. Right. It's nice to have them in our corner too.